Today is still March 30th, 2026. You know, yesterday, people around me, they said, well, Katie had always said that she never threatened her. They were just mad because she acted like she was too good to talk to her. And then we all found out she avoided them because she knew that she was cheating with him. And it was her sister's, husband. And that's why they avoided him. Because then it makes uncomfortable, polite conversation because you know you're cheating with my sister's husband. And they said nobody blames her for avoiding her. And they were getting even with her because, not that she threatened her, but because she acted like she was too good to talk to her. Somebody else said that today. Where they said that she acted like she was too good to talk to her. And that's why they were really getting even with her. Found out that she was cheating with her sister's husband, and that's why they didn't talk to her, and they avoided her. Everybody feels bad for thinking they should get even with her because they thought she was too good to talk to her. Since when do you get even with somebody for that? Harass and stalk somebody. I want to know the mentality and the sickness of, Edith Oakland apartment. He said back in December of 21, he said, I swear the COVID virus damaged people's brains here. It's like it's caused a great mental illness. People are finding things funny that aren't. They told him December 9th, 21, 4 p.m. that all the tapes before were them and not me, and it was just a bunch of men doing crimes here. Okay? The same day at the Starr County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street, distributing food, there's only 4 or 5 volunteers. One of the guys came out, he was one of my guards during the case, came out and said, we always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word. Okay? Before Christmas of 21. Now, these people are driving by Oakland apartment, screaming stuff. These people have tortured me, crushed my head in. They have human trafficked me, beat me. Okay? Almost shot me driving, had to hide on a shooting night, stalkers, drugged me till I lost 70 pounds. Scared of them? Yeah, I was sitting in my car shaking, smoking a cigarette. Ed walked up outside my car and there was an African-American guy that worked with him. He walked up, he said, none of this is funny. I found out what's going on. She's scared to death of those people as they're driving by screaming. He said, I already told them, and I was talked to by an investigator. They already talked to the guy at the Hunger Task Force. And they had told me too that all the tapes before were them and not her. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes here. See what I mean? There's so many witnesses of everything. And then these people sold the login by like the first or second month of the case. And it went viral. Once it was on the internet, it went everywhere. I can go into different states. They'll mention the case. It's really big among teenagers. Told you, Faith Family Church, that Michelle that Dave was dating, that ended up being just Katie's family member, and Henry Maupey's her, because if you put what Anita and Pam said, that Mary's niece Michelle was willing to kill someone just for the opportunity to date Dave, and Dave was excited. He never had anybody willing to kill someone just to date him. And then that girl showing up at the family church, they called her Michelle. She was telling people she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, friends with Ludwig, letting him get away with crimes. She was lying. And then she said she was Agent Wells' daughter. But what's not funny, she was seen with Judge Peters' group from Florida, and they were telling people they were drug traders. The human trafficker that got arrested. That they had mind-controlling drugs. They could control anybody for hours. They had fake FBI agents that were part of them that tortured me. They were selling the log in there to 3,000 people. Okay. Like my friend Tess, we were talking about when, everybody knew they were there. She's like, Karen, this thing blew up so big before they got it under control. Keith met my one friend that used to go there. He met with the U.S. Marshals in Canton. And met one of the guys they saved off my case. His life was saved. Maddie, my one friend, lives 2.5 hours away. His friend on the police department knew about the Texas group involved in my case, the Kingsman. He showed up and a bunch of men followed him in, and he said, I got a friend on the police department knew about your case, that agent opened with you, knew about the Texas group. I'm like, the Kingsman? I'm looking around, you brought your police department? He brought the U.S. Marshals. They knew about the Texas group involved in your case. The police are not releasing a lot of information. They're going to be using that case, that agent open with you to get those drug traders that are human trafficking people. Went through a lot of stuff. He drove me till I started. I walked outside and they announced themselves. They are funny when they're around. They're loud, proud people. They're not sneaky like the FBI or the U.S. Marshals were here. It's like the cavalry. I was in Hartville a couple years ago. I was in a restaurant. This lady came up and said, no one's to say a word to her. We found out the U.S. Marshals are here, and this big guy behind me said, well, who did you think we were? I don't try not to laugh. It's like, talk to the big guy. That's where they, investigators have already told people her case was only a threat and attempt a life case with money and immunity for helping get information. FBI informant. And her case led into the drug cartel and became part of the nationwide human trafficking scam because they got them under surveillance because they were using them to hurt me. Get the idea. But October 14 of 2018, I had took a picture of the prescription of my fentanyl patches, filled June 11th, 2003. They always knew those people, church people, were lying. The FBI had a copy of my phone. They're surveillancing me in my home for the protected custody case. They always knew they were lying. Today, down at a restaurant, I heard some investigators come in. We heard that video she did of how she responded to how those people acted when they came in the office. Nobody fell for them. It was a skit of a lifetime. They had to probably practice it for months. But if you take where that girl showed up, and where I'm the one that dates Dave, I'm the one that dates her husband January and March of 19. And they called her Michelle. And then you take September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, a biker's yelling at this girl outside that the guys running it said no one's to say a word to her again in life. They found out this whole thing was your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know. She doesn't even know you, and you had her skull bashed in, you had her raped and tortured because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. She's not sorry. They're screaming outside my work. And, your I listened to January 13th, 23 of her and her friend Matt talking that the Ohio drug dealers threatened that agent's life because they thought he let all those people be human trafficked. It was your family letting them be human trafficked, and your family human trafficked people to pay off those debt to drug dealers? Yes. I'm sorry. She sold children and she's sorry. And it was your family that incited her new husband's family to take his farm and threaten his life. Yes, but I really wanted that farm. I liked it. Did you know the original cartel already confessed they photoshopped everything? They already confronted her ex-husband if he knew it was a medication error, that medical malpractice and fraud that made her sick before, and they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years. Yes, I knew that. Then you take Henry Moffey, January 1926. How he came in and he sat down, he was sitting with a guy at another table, how he was the one that sent those weird text messages through Instagram of, I think you're beautiful, something about love on a beach. I don't know him, he's weird. Don't know him from Adam. Then people talk about him, then he's driving around with people saying they're drug dealers from Florida for Judge Peters. He said, I proved she was cheating. That's not me cheating, that's you being a weirdo. I don't know you. He said, I'm the one that tells all men she's not good enough for another man. I thought, fuck you. And then I'm glad I never met her in person. I thought, buddy, you went and got a pity date. And how he was the one telling my new husband's family that he'd steal everything for them, and that he even found out that Carl's son was vandalizing stuff on that property, and said, told him to stay out of it, he was going to steal everything for them. Where that girl said it was her family, so that's her dad. And it's their drug debt to the drug dealers. So that makes that Mary's niece, which is Katie's mom, which is Anita's her aunt, where they were talking. Get the idea. And that he had a judge restraint, go to enter all his talking tapes and go, well, the FBI's busy with Minnesota, have all the cases money signed over to him, he'll pull a fast one, steal all the cases money, be long on before the FBI shows up. I thought, over my dead body, I wrote the precedent. I wrote FBI Internal Affairs. Bastard behind all this is right here. I gotta go in. But you know, with making these things public, the tapes, the writing out of what's going on Facebook, and then uploading these tapes where these people keep lying to these low-educated people. They show up and they harass a victim they don't even know. And when they find out they're scammed, they stop. Then they find more fools. And where I tell them who's doing it and why they're doing it, and it's just an extortion plan to extort money from the government. And it's just that family in that church messed up in a drug cartel with the Florida drug cartels. And the whole thing was a scam. People leave me alone. You know, you have to stand up to the lies and to the bullies and tell people, look, they're making fools out of you just trying to extort money from the government. And then people realize how not funny it is, and they leave me alone. As a victim, would you want them to do it to you? I mean, December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. There's a second Michelle involved. She was dating on an Agent on Rose, and this one's really pretty. She's got long blonde hair. She had told him March 27th, 25, that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. And when they bashed in my head, they had tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. All right. And they threatened to kill her for telling an agent. So she went badass. I haven't met her. I've seen her. Carl's seen her. And when they threatened her life, nobody threatens that girl. Her and her friends, every time they hear something, they tell on them. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62, an investigator came in. Michelle showed up in my office. Said these people admitted that this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. They all were. It was a scam. The whole thing was. Everybody involved was. It was a skit they were putting on. It was a big skit. Big drama skit they planned out, thinking they'd fall for it. And that the doctor from before wasn't one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. And she actually don't know who he is. And that guy Pete that was in his office running his mouth about her, she don't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. And the tape of Weird With Yourself is photoshopped of washing in the shower. And they photoshopped that. And they used hypnotic drugs on her and drugged her and told her to say it before, and she has no memory of these people. And the whole thing was just a scam to extort money from the government. See, what they did to me is Twilight Zone, but walking in an FBI office, offering a federal agent a bribe if he would dare take it. And they tape him, then tape him, act like he's going along with this. They got him taped, and then they can blackmail him, and then try to steal from the government. And if anybody dare gets arrested, they could get the surveillance thrown out because he defrauded me. And that's what their whole evil plan, where they said they set up that agent to be arrested. And where November 23rd, 25 at Macy's, they announced this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. My ex-husband was already connected to him. They went to him and asked him if they could run a scam on me to extort money from the government. He said yes, if they made sure he got everything during the divorce. They all were part of it. All of them. And when you realize all these people were doing was trying to scam the FBI out of money, you realize how not funny this is.